Thanks, Denny, and welcome back to Investing with Confidence, the final segment of today's show. If you happen to miss 2 tickets for the investing class, call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. For those of you that do call right now for this free investing class, when you register, you're going to get a special gift. We'll actually send it over to you via email. So, Al, we talked about a few different topics today. We talked about Wall Street and why they're putting people in assets or strategies, kind of like a cookie cutter, that's a one-size-fit-all strategy. We've talked about some of the different news that's happening, how we can capitalize or have the potential to capitalize on the market based off of price charts and supply and demand. But we still have retirement that people want to hear about. We had a lot of people respond to the last investing class and want to understand more about their retirement accounts. And people are planning for retirement, but they're not planning, I guess, early enough. Sometimes people wait to plan till they're in their 60s and say, hey, I'm going to retire, and I just don't have enough. So let's continue that discussion about getting a plan started for retirement, but also why most people's retirement accounts are underperforming.
Well, as far as a plan, a lot of people plan on retiring, but they don't really have a specific plan on how they're going to get there and how they're going to maneuver the years that they have during their retirement years. And one of the reasons that I started out that, was it a couple of segments ago, talking about why your retirement accounts might not have a chance of providing what you need, it's because, again, that conditioning, what you've been conditioned to do. Let me talk for a minute here about the core strategy again. We talked about a number of different assets. We talk about stock. We talk about futures, Forex, options, cryptocurrencies. The most important thing, it doesn't make any difference which one of those you are investing in or trading. The most important thing is identifying the right price to get in and the right price to get out. And by doing that, you're reducing your risk, you're increasing the potential for profit, you're identifying a quality trade no matter what it is. And that's what core strategy does. But the way it simplifies things for you is it's the same strategy for each one of those, for any one of them. So that's why it's so important to start with that core strategy. Now, a plan should be specific to you. If you're still working, if you haven't retired yet, the plan's going to include different assets, different ways of approaching the market than when you go into retirement. So that plan is something that evolves over time. It changes as you go into retirement. It changes with the emphasis not as much on accumulation of assets as it was when you were still working, but now it's protection of your assets. It's continued growth of them, but it's also now using your retirement money as a way of generating income. But again, the plan needs to be a specific plan, including the step-by-step rules-based process, the right asset for you. When you think about it, all of the other professions have plans. Pilots have plans. They have a flight plan. Surgeons have plans. How would you like to go into the hospital for an ingrown toenail, wake up, and they tell you, well, your open heart surgery went well. They have a plan. They know exactly what they're going to do. And that's something that we should do with our financial world, too. That's one of the most important things in our life, but most people don't have a plan. So one of the reasons that there's kind of a shortcoming in what you could have in your retirement accounts is what you are put into. Number one, you don't have a plan. You're just following what Wall Street has told you to do. You were sold hope in the form of an investment product that's very lucrative to Wall Street. Typically, it's your 401k, 403b, your employer-sponsored plan that invest primarily in mutual funds. Some of them now will let you do individual stocks or ETFs, but the primary go-to is mutual funds. And one of the problems there that I think people are unaware of is the negative impact of the fees that are involved. One of the things that you're told is the great thing about these retirement plans is that the money is managed by a professional. Well, do you think the professional is doing that just because they're good guys and they don't want to get charged or be paid anything for it?
Remember, they're a professional salesperson.
They're professional salespeople, but the mutual fund manager, the team, it's usually not just one person. We're talking about $1 million salaries there that you are paying. A small fee, a very conservative number would be 2%. The actual number, if you look at a tax-deferred account like your retirement accounts, the actual number that's more accurate in fees is around 3.2%. But if you just look at 2%, that could take 50 to 75% away from what you could have in retirement. So number one for our students is learning how to reduce or eliminate the fees, and we can show you how to go into retirement or be preparing for retirement without paying fees. With mutual funds, there's a number of things that automatically reduce the returns. A good portion of what the mutual fund has to be in cash for distributions and for new investments. Well, you have part of your investment money sitting in cash, yet you're paying that 3.2% or 2% fees on your cash that's sitting there. That's a draw. Every time a mutual fund takes a position, they're not going to buy 50 shares or something. They're going to take a big position, and every time they buy a little bit of it, it drives the price up, so the overall cost is much higher. And the reverse happens when they sell. When they get out of a position, they drive the price down, so you end up getting a less amount of money, a lower profit when that happens. So there's a number of things there that impact your bottom line that we show you how to eliminate or reduce when you come into these classes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really understand the fees. They don't want to understand them. That ostrich strategy, which is putting your head in the sand, but they don't understand how to start a plan either. And you help a lot of people do that. If you want help to start a plan in your investing, all you got to do is text the word invest to the number 484848 for a free class to get started on how to understand those techniques and concept. Text 484848. Text the word invest to the number 484848 to do that. You're going to receive a link back to register for this class. Now, we have a lot of listeners that they're probably saying, I love the show. We hear this all the time. I love the show. I've been listening for years, and I finally called into this free investing class to get started. But I think and a lot of the common reasons they don't do it right away is because they just don't know the stock market. So they say, I don't know the stock market. I don't even want to start because I just don't know. Well, you don't know unless you try.
Sure.
Right? And that's the first thing you got to do is take action and do that. But you inspire a lot of people once they come into these investing classes, inspire them to get started. So what are some of the key things if you want to get started in the investing world, whether you have 401ks already, but they want to make better decisions in there, what do you think is the main thing you do to help people get started?
Well, the first thing we do, if this is something that you feel is going to be beneficial to you, the first thing we want to do is sit down with you and find out what you want your future to look like. You know, where are you now? What do you want your financial life to look like in 5 years or 10 years or 2 years or whatever that time period is? And then let's work on how you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Is it possible to do that? And how do you do it in a way that's most effective and efficient for you? There are proper assets and proper strategies that will help each individual maybe do something a little bit differently to get to the point where they have the opportunity to achieve those goals. If the longer you wait, by the way, the harder it's going to be to do this. If you have kids, by the way, or grandkids, I think it really almost comes down to your responsibility to help them, to give them some guidance. And start out with you. What knowledge do you have that you can pass on to them? Where did you get your knowledge? And it's not from school. You're not getting it in school. So maybe it's just from friends or maybe from your parents who probably don't know any more than you do. But there are ways that you can get the proper education. The Online Trading Academy is one source. And we do have a lot of people that come in, they bring their kids and their grandkids in, and they think that they're going to help guide them. Well, what really happens is the kids end up guiding the parents. The kids do really well because the younger you are, the easier it is to learn things.
Yeah.
And the less you have to put into the market at a younger age, let it compound for you to get to a point down the road when you retire where you don't have to work as hard.
Al, you seem like a pretty hip guy. You know the
I'm a
term.
pretty hip guy, Josh.
You know the term FOMO, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, a lot of people have the fear of missing out in these markets,
Sure.
and the fact of the matter is people are missing out on these great opportunities in the markets. We have a great opportunity for potential wealth creation now, but also as this market continues on, whether it goes up or whether it goes down, there's opportunities there. That's just the fact of the matter. People are missing out on that. If you want to get started, come to one of these free investing class. One last set of tickets for this investing class. Call 952 814-4410. In this class, Al talks about some of the different topics in how to time the market by letting price come to you, our step-by-step rules-based strategy for trading any asset in any market, but also how to buy at wholesale and sell at retail, just like the financial institutions do. 952-814-4410. Al, you always have some great tips throughout the whole show. I want you to talk about today's OTA tip of the week.
Well, we hear a lot, Josh. People say, I just don't have enough time right now. Well, the odds of your being successful in creating a secure, goal-oriented retirement and financial future decreases each day that you wait. If you don't think you have enough time now, wait until you're 65 or 70 and see how much you wish you had taken the time when you had so much of it left.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, they don't ever want to be poor. And you know the definition of poor? It's passing over opportunities regularly. And they also have that FOMO. They're fear of missing out. So sometimes they get in the market without the knowledge and skills. Where you start that knowledge is these investing classes. One last set of tickets. Call 952-814-4410 for 2 tickets for this free investing class. When you call right now, you're going to receive a free gift. Same time, same place. As always, next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.